We all know that dogs are man's best friend. Loyal, loving, and disciplined. Sometimes, some dog owners work to ensure their best friends follow some ground rules, and to be fair, we get it. After all, you wouldn't let a human poop in your kitchen. Right from a group of self-walking buddies to the world's smartest dog, here are the 15 best trained and disciplined dogs in the world. Number 15. Walking without a leash. Generally speaking, to the point at which a dog can be considered to be disciplined and well-trained comes when you can trust a dog to walk itself without a leash. It is the animal equivalent of taking off the training wheels or accepting that you might go blind from drinking one too many beers and doing it all the same. This video shows a man walking 5 to 6 dogs without a leash. How cool is that? But if you're already pretty amazed by this, well, you're definitely going to be blown away by what happens next. In a tribute to just how well trained these dogs are, the trainer wanders off down the street and the dogs sit in the exact spot he told them to stay. Then when he returns, the dogs are back up and ready to follow. Now that's a level of discipline that even I as a human cannot match. If I'm told to sit still for a few seconds, I'm usually off causing mayhem somewhere else. Teaching even one dog to walk itself is a huge accomplishment. But 5-6, that's almost unheard of. And I say this as someone that hasn't even taught one dog to walk with a leash. Before we go on, like this video and smash the subscribe button. Go a step further, click the notification bell right now, or Slenderman will come from under your bed when you're sleeping. Time for the rare topic. Nobody likes cleaning up their dog's poop, right? If you do enjoy it, well, good for you, but I guess no high fives for you. Anyway, today's rare topic brings a pretty great solution to this everyday problem. Train the dog to clean up after itself. Such a genius solution. This big white bulldog has clearly been trained to clean up his own mess, and I have to say he's doing it pretty. Have you ever seen a dog using a dustpan and brush it? Now is the time to train your pup. Next on topic is number 14, the world's smartest dog. Now don't get confused. Even the world's smartest and most disciplined, well-trained dogs can be almost unbearably adorable, and this one is the real deal. She is kind of like Scooby-Doo, but real. And she can't talk. Additionally, she isn't under the influence of anything suspicious. You know what? She's just a smart dog. This clip shows this incredible dog following her owner's commands, and she is amazing. While the guy behind the camera shouts out one command after another, his dog executes all of them flawlessly and with the kind of laser focus that we somehow hope to achieve for ourselves. Make no mistake, this dog is a very well-trained and disciplined animal. She is even somehow able to resist the overwhelming temptation of a biscuit on the floor while also executing the commands. And perhaps most incredibly, recognizing the numbers shouted out by her owner. Even I would struggle with that one. There's a pretty strong case here for this dog being the smartest dog in the world. In fact, I'd go as far as to suggest that she is the most intelligent animal on the planet, including humans. Sorry, but we could not do half what this dog does in the video. I can barely count. Number 13. 200 dogs, 1 trainer. Okay, so 200 dogs might be a little extreme for just one person, but that doesn't mean there isn't someone insane enough to try and train them all, and that's exactly what this probably insane person decided to do. It's actually pretty impressive and insane in any other universe. Controlling 200 dogs would be an exercise in torture and frustration, but somehow this woman turns it into an art form, effortlessly keeping these beautiful dogs away from what looks like a tasty line of unidentifiable meat. Which, by the way, would be an excellent name for a niche company of exotic dancers. Anyway, at some point, the trainer allows the dogs to go wild, and then we see the adorably chaotic feeding frenzy that comes with hungry dogs and piles of meat. That's when you really learn to appreciate the control this woman has over these dogs. It's incredibly difficult to discipline or train just one dog, let alone 200 hungry dogs. That's straight up nightmare material, but somehow this woman and her team have turned it into a form of art. That's the power of discipline and unidentified meat, apparently. Number 12. Best trained dogs in the world. There are a lot of dogs that are allegedly the best trained in the world, but if you really want to see the world's best trained dogs, you need to go to the Crufts Dog Show. If this video is anything to go by, just about all of them could be best in show. Here, we have one of the dogs performing as part of the show, and it's nothing short of incredible. While most dog shows just settle for ordinary quirky dog movements, this owner decided to go for something more meaningful and frankly impressive. This dog and its owner crafted an intriguing and moving narrative about an army soldier and the dog that saved her life. The story goes from push-ups to being exploded by a grenade to the dog giving its owner CPR and mouth-to-mouth. Seriously. And all of this was at a dog show. May I remind you, there's more meaningful plot in this performance than most movies. This kind of performance is almost unheard of. At one of these shows, a full-scale narrative tale holds from beginning to end through the movement and connection between dog and owner. What a beautiful accomplishment. Number 11. Waiting for treats. Whenever I see well-trained dogs waiting for their treats, I'm always pretty impressed by it. I, as a well-trained human, am unable to wait and often find myself enjoying chocolate snacks when I really should be preparing myself for a full meal. So that's a talent I wish I had. This video shows a whole bunch of beautiful dogs waiting at the table for their owner to give them the treats they so clearly deserve. But they're going to have to wait because the owner is smart enough to know that all of these dogs would cause a complete stampede that would probably destroy the table. So the owner begins feeding them one by one, and it's really most impressive that the owner has any fingers left, because these dogs are clearly so hungry they probably wouldn't notice if they got a little human meat in with their treats. Anybody with children will know how hard it is to get everybody to wait their turn around the table, and dogs aren't all that different. These are hungry animals and it's not easy to get them to wait. Thankfully, kids don't want to miss their chance to use the PlayStation, so that's always a good blackmail card. Number 10. Special Force dogs. For many of us, the idea of jumping out of a plane fills us with dread and general nope energy. But for some dogs in the French Special Forces, there's really no choice given. It's part of your job as a dog to defy the laws of gravity. How very French. This video shows the average day in the life of un chien François, that's French for a French dog. As you can see, French Special Forces don't mess around, and the dog is quickly strapped to one of the soldiers before he leaps out of the plane, parachuting to the ground in a very James Bond-like manner. After landing, the dog begins his real mission, and it's here that we see the true discipline of his impressively trained little guy. Wearing his own special equipment, the dog follows the orders of his fellow soldiers and acts as a kind of camera drone, doing everything he's told through a tiny microphone. Every military has its own ducks, but this is something else. I'm not sure there's any other country on earth allowing dogs to jump out of planes and go searching through abandoned buildings, but here we are. Number 9. Dog demonstration. There are no dogs on earth better trained than our army dogs. These little guys are basically conditioned from birth to follow orders without question, to act as a kind of mirror to their human counterpart. And if this video is anything to go by, they definitely do the job. This clip shows a military demonstration. It shows a soldier working alongside his trained dog. After arriving on a bike, the man drops his bag and unleashes the dog from inside. What follows is nothing short of perfect. Every single time the soldier moves, the dog follows in perfect synchronization. When the soldier tells the dog to wait, the dog waits until he gets a signal to follow. If the soldier makes a harsh turn in either direction, the dog is already there. The partnership shown between these two is masterful. They're like two creatures functioning with one mind. At the end of the video, the dog leaps onto the motorcycle and all of them head off into the sunset. Training a dog to this kind of precision is not an easy feat, as this kind of impressive collaboration requires a lot of discipline. Number 8. Alexa Lowenberger. Germans have always loved their dogs, but I don't think we've ever seen a show quite like this one. Alexa Lowenberger is a very young dog trainer, and my word, is she's good. You'll never see another performance like this. Guys, she also won Germany's Got Talent. If you're interested in reality shows involving dogs, this footage shows just how impressive Alexa's training is. A whole host of dogs perform an epic show alongside Alexa, who keeps complete control as her furry friends move from simply rolling over to jumping through hoops to performing the conga. Yes, the conga. Take it in. These dogs can do a better conga than most humans, although I guess we have to remember that these dogs haven't drowned 4 beers and a Jägermeister, so that definitely gives them an advantage to some degree. Alexa's talent as a dog trainer is undeniable. To choreograph such an impressive routine with animals as unruly as dogs, impressive. Number 7. Roll call. Many of us probably have something of an adverse reaction to the word roll call. It's one of those old reminders of school. The image of middle-aged women in tweed calling our names from over the frames of their cheap glasses. Actually, maybe that's just what I feel. Well, there is another topic for my therapist. This video captures this woman's daily routine. opening up the dog fence and calling the animals out for food and play. But what's most impressive here is that every single one of the dogs just patiently sits and waits for their turn without any chaos or trouble. Every time the owner calls out their name or names, the dogs just happily walk right through the gates. But the real fun comes with the last dog. When the owner calls the name, Echo, the dog clearly doesn't move. But when she calls it twice, thereby creating a literal echo, the dog happily walks out like all the others. It's always nice to have a funny dog. It better not start writing amusing scripts for lists videos, though that's where I draw the line. Number 6. Spanish police dogs. If there's one thing dogs have, it's energy. They just seem to gravitate towards anything that's moving with a kind of light force, whether that's other animals, humans, or occasionally a slinky moving at speed down the stairs. But you know, police dogs are something else. This clip takes place at a police demonstration, clearly showing just how well trained these dogs truly are. From the beginning, the police go to great lengths to try and move around the dogs in an effort to distract them, but it's clear the dogs cannot be distracted. After that, the police show how good the dogs are at following orders, even if one or two are a little excitable. What's clear from this footage is that the dogs are disciplined enough to follow orders set by their fellow officers. But that joyful excitement we love about dogs is still there, even though there were one or two particularly excitable dogs. It's pretty clear that these dogs were very well trained to pull off the kind of discipline that they demonstrated here. You could have put a slinky in front of them, and they probably wouldn't have. Oh, who am I kidding? Nobody can resist a slinky. Number 5. Dog bites man. If there's one job you don't want in these police demonstrations, it's the role of the guy who's gonna get bitten. It's a brutal job, but somebody's got to do it. Unfortunately for this guy, it was him. Well, at least they gave him a big goat. Not sure that's gonna help him much, though the footage shows an officer preparing the biting victim for his soon-to-be starring role. In this public entertainment performance, moments later, the officer tells his dog to sit and wait, which he obviously does. All is well so far, we have no dog bites. This is the best case scenario in the real world. But this is not the real world scenario. Besides, you know, everyone's there just to watch a guy get bitten. It's like NASCAR but with dog bites instead of crashes. Anyway, the officer pretends to check the victim behaving accordingly to the typical police protocol. But then the alleged victim resists and pushes the officer aside, prompting the dog to launch at the victim and take a nice big chunk. Well trained. It's probably not a job you'd want on your resume, but man, bitten by a dog is an important role to play in events like this. Everyone is there for one reason, and one reason alone: to see someone get seriously hurt by a well-trained police dog. Number 4. Exercising dog. Dogs are probably more active than many humans, given that they literally demand walks every single day. But this dog really does take it to a whole new level, as a simple walk is just not enough. He wants to enjoy a full workout with his owner. How cute. The video shows Elena Malikova and her dog Jerry as they perform a routine designed around heel work and exercise with the help of their music. Elena and Jerry perform what has to be one of the most impressive dogs/human workout routines you've ever seen. With Jerry doing much of his choreography without even looking to his owner for guidance, he's truly mastered the routine. Those that were present at Crufts in 2018 described this as the greatest routine of the entire show, and it's clear to see why. Very few dog owners have such impressive control over their pets, and what's more, Jerry seems to truly enjoy it. Dogs cannot perform these kinds of routines unless they feel truly safe and supported, which really just proves that this bond is strong. It's not all in training. It also depends on a very loving relationship. Number 3. Freestyling dog. Generally at dog shows, very few owners choose to take the risk of an unimproved freestyle performance, instead preferring the safety net of a choreographed and very trained routine. But when we see an impromptu routine go well, it's pretty amazing. In this clip we see an owner and her big adorable dog essentially making up a whole routine on the spot. To the joyful tunes of ABBA and against all the odds, it actually works. Every time that his owner comes up with some kind of move, the dog begins repeating it almost exactly in sync. This kind of improvising is rare at dog shows generally, but it's always impressive to see it. It's probably the most perfect way to show just how tight the bond between human and pet really is. While dog freestyling isn't quite as bombastic and gymnastic as its human equivalent is, it's still pretty impressive to see a whole routine be thought up out of nowhere and to see a dog following it with absolutely no problem or hesitation whatsoever. That's a very well-trained dog. Number 2. The sheep herder. And here we have a real twofer. Not just dogs but sheep too. Of course, not all dogs get trained to perform at dog shows and reality TV auditions, but also just to herd sheep and help out on the farm. And to be fair, these two dogs really take this job as a performance all of their own, while most sheep herding dogs just tend to approach the job as basic as you possibly could, just chase the sheep where they have to go. But for these two dogs and their owner, the job is an opportunity for some incredible creativity and discipline. Just look at the way that the owner gets the dogs to work together, essentially orchestrating a whole choreography purely for the herding of the sheep. But while the actual herding of the sheep is all very impressive and the discipline of the animals is remarkable, every animal needs a little bit of relief, right? And if you're a dog, you go and scare the life out of an unexpected sheep. You have to love a good adrenaline rush when you're being bad. I'm so sorry. Number 1. Brittany. German Shepherd dogs are generally not known for their gymnastic talents, but then Brittany is not just any duck. Brittany seems to be a pretty talented superhero of a German Shepherd, capable of truly incredible feats. She's like the dog equivalent of Spider-Man, Peter Parker. The footage really speaks for itself. But it cannot be overstated just how truly impressive Brittany's gymnastics are. Whether she's sleeping on her owner's back or pulling off a wacky crazy backflip, it seems there are no limits to the tricks that this dog can do. It's hard to think of any other dog being quite so gymnastic as Brittany, at least in real life. Hong Kong Fooey is about as close as I could imagine, but he's retired now. Anyway, it's pretty clear from this video that Brittany is not only very well trained and disciplined, but that she also clearly has a lot of fun with her owner. Look at her happy little fries. There's likely no other dog quite as athletic as Brittany. And while we're all waiting for the eventual Spider Dog movie that I'm going to direct, write, produce, edit, and star in, it's nice to know that we can always just re-watch this video over and over. Do you have dogs trained better than these? Let us know in the comments. Also check out our other cool stuff showing on Wild Viral. Right now, see you next time.